I first worked for the IHO in 1998. By that stage, I'd held quite a number of senior posts in the United Kingdom, with the Royal Navy in charge of surveys afloat, and also in high-level posts responsible for policy and the planning of the UK programme for hydrography for safety of navigation. And now I was to apply this experience leading a study team in what was then the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico Hydrographic Commission area. Our primary purpose was to alert the small island states to the imminent implementation of the Global Maritime Distress and Safety System, but it was also an opportunity to advise them on an appropriate organisation for them to implement hydrography in their waters. Subsequently, I was appointed hydrographer of the Navy in the United Kingdom and was a member of the delegation to the 16th International Hydrographic Commission Council in 2002. And I had a remit there to champion capacity building and appropriate transfer of skills and technology. And with that background, from 2003 to 2007, I was really loaned by the UK to the IHO to assist with capacity building and to produce a new edition of publication S55, The Status of Charting Worldwide. Firstly, without question, the launch of the Capacity Building Committee with a defined strategy and a remit to promote prioritisation, clear goals, the goals set for people, and performance review. And my aim as the Vice Chairman was to ensure that all we did complied with the guidelines in the organisation's publication M2, the need for national hydrographic services, and in particular to see that we started with level 1, the collection and circulation of nautical information, MSI and GMDSS, and after that began to think about appropriate levels of survey in national waters. And once those two were done, perhaps then to think about whether it was appropriate for a country to produce its own charts. Secondly, the production of that third edition of what was then S55, now C55, the Status of Hydrography Worldwide, was of enormous help to both member and non-member states in puzzling through the status of hydrography in their waters. It also gave us a real feel for key regional deficiencies, which had not been revalidated since the production of the first edition under the auspices of the United Nations in 1992. I think clearly and reasonably the past decade has been dominated by the need for the organisation and member states to be ready for the progressive implementation by the IMO of carriage requirements for shipping. There's also, of course, been quite a change in the organisation and status of the IHO. I feel now perhaps attention needs to shift back to setting realistic aims and priorities for the encouragement of national capacity as those 3 core levels defined in M2, starting again with that level 1, the collection of information, and then moving on to the other levels, really looking for workable and sustainable solutions. And I'm sure the organisation will be looking for cooperation across the field to get that enabling environment in place, which will mean that the skills that we encourage in member states can offset their often small size and limited national resources.